Well, hey, I'm back again, and here's some cool vintage gear I wore in a game last weekend. So last weekend I had another of my old-timer league games, and I actually played back-to-back games again. I know in the last video, in the last few videos, I've talked about some camera problems I was having that I said I had ultimately resolved. I did. However, turned out I have one bad battery, and it turns out that was the battery I grabbed for my first game, which was my team's league game, and it stopped recording near the end of the second period. I'm really disappointed in that. But we'll start off talking about the gear. So we'll start off talking about this really cool set of GP3000 pads that I wore, but I'm actually not going to talk about them right now because when I got these pads, I actually featured them in a game video like that same day, and I started back then with an opening like this. And it's funny because that was almost 2 years ago, and I started that video with a kind of gear description intro. I should have probably stuck with it from back then. But anyway, I'm gonna edit a little bit of that and show how I talked about them when I originally got them. So here's that. When you collect the amount of gear that I do, there's several ways to go about it, achieving a collection. And a lot of the times, you're just dealing anonymously or over email or chat, and somebody ships you gear. Other times you meet in person, and there are times, there's different reasons people are selling this stuff, and there's obviously reasons many people have kept this stuff for as many years as they have. So as often as possible, I like to meet with people in person, and I like to talk and tell them why I'm a good buyer for their Cooper gear, and share, my enjoyment for the brand and the gear with them and hear their story. And so this last weekend, I was lucky enough to meet Keisha and Chris. And Chris was a goalie, still a goalie. One's a goalie, always a goalie, right? There's times, people are selling just to get rid of stuff and they have no real attachment to it or whatever. And in this case, I could tell that Chris was attached to his gear. I did enjoy the talk, and I got to show these pads off. And when you see these pads, you're going to know that these pads were loved. Chris was the original owner of these pads, and so I'm the lucky second owner, and they're going to stay looking good and being taken care of. So I'm going to flip the camera around, and I'll show off the gear I wore tonight. Again, I'm so grateful to Chris for letting me be the guy that's going to keep these things and take care of them for the future. And I promised him I'd be putting them on the ice, so they were on the ice tonight. Cooper GP3000s in just amazing condition. Just nothing wrong with these. And I'm hoping that it really shows that the white Durasoft is white. It is not yellowed. I do have a yellow light bulb, kind of off-white light bulb down here, so it might show through a little bit like that. But I mean, you can just see, look at the toes are just amazing. These were so well taken care of for so many years. I mean, we're talking decades. I love the pads. So we'll move on to the gloves. This was the white with black graphic GM 3000 blocker. I've already wore the GM 3000 blocker very recently, talked a little bit about it then, so there's not much more I can add now. This one does in particular have a custom Pro Shop label on it. Kind of like I said about the GM 3000 Trapper in the last video. I don't really know why it has the custom patch. I have not found a custom feature on it. We do have, the finger protection here and side finger protection and one-piece thumb Velcro on the wrist strap. Pretty standard blocker for the time. For this week, since I had just recently used the black GM 3000 Trapper, this week I decided to go with the GM 1000 Trapper, which came out in 1993, and it was listed as a Super Pro model. It was a step down from the GM 3000, However, they're made very, very similarly. You have a one-piece plastic thumb protection in the palm here. The big cuff, huge back of the cuff, and a really deep T. The GM 1000, interestingly, was carried for 93, and then also it rolled over into 1994, but in 94, they demoted it to be a senior glove because of the rollout of the Reactor lineup at the time. It's a great glove. I love it. It is one of the model numbers, though, that also did not carry over into the Reactor lineup. So like a Reactor 3 was also called a GM 3000. There was the Reactor 1 was like a GM 900, I believe. So I don't know exactly why they did that. I like this glove. I don't wear it enough. I have a couple different 1000s, and I really do like them. They're a big glove still. They're not much different than the 3000. They feel pretty solid and safe to me. And overall, like I said, it's really very, very similar. That pocket is pretty deep. See if you can see. It's actually marketed as an extra large T. Combo this week, I put this one together special for this game just to change some things up a little bit. It's an SK2000. We have a black front shell, white rear shell, and yellow bumpers. HM30 cage with a Cooper HM30 chin pad. No neck strap, no dangler. And it has the full ear guard instead of the half ear guard that also uses loops. I put this together the day of the game, specifically in this color because, and I'll show you here from the catalog, Cooper offered some pre-made SK2000 NHL team themed helmets. And this colorway was sold as the SK2000 BB. Basically, that's Boston Bruins. Just like they had a red and white one that was the SK2000 RW for Red Wings. Something I've never talked about probably in these videos is that when they sold a helmet like this, where the two shells were different color, there would have been a sticker on the back that said, this is a factory two-color helmet. And the reason they had to do that was for the certification of the helmet, because the two halves of the shell are not considered like user replaceable parts. They would have to put that sticker on there because of the certification. So if you had made your own two color and it didn't have that certification decal, then technically it wasn't allowed under like whatever it was, USA Hockey rules or Hockey Canada rules and so on. The bumpers under certification were considered replaceable parts. Cool helmet, original foam, nice and soft. Enjoyed wearing it. Yep, that's my COVID mask. Doesn't cause me really any problems. Won't bore you with a lot of repetitive detail, but Reactor 5 chest protector again. And just for fun, after playing 2 games, and keep in mind, I don't show it in the videos, but I'm the kind of goalie that likes to squirt water down my back during a game. After 2 games, back to back, 5.7 pounds is what that weighed. Current dry weight, 5.3 pounds. So 0.4, less than a half pound of weight in difference after playing back-to-back games. Pants, black 2-piece Cooper pants with the white stripe on the side and old school Cooper suspenders, including the leather loops for attaching to the buttons. Final piece from this week, this really amazing Cooper Super Pro Light with the natural wood, and the fiberglass stripes. This is a Tom Draper stick. And show you again, we've got some like lot number printing here. So it is not a retail stick. I'm not exactly sure what team he was with or going to be with or something, because this is a black and yellow label on the stick as well as underneath the tape here. Not dark blue and yellow, so I'm not exactly sure if I remember. I think I actually posted this on Facebook and he gave some input, so I'll try to double check that and see if I can remember or figure out what it was. So there you go. That's the gear I wore last Sunday. Like I said at the beginning, I did play back-to-back games, because my own game didn't record fully, I'm just gonna go ahead and combine all of the footage here at the end of this instead of doing two separate uploads to YouTube. My game, just fill you in, it went down to the wire. We were winning, and with just under 2 minutes left in the game, the other team pulled their goalie, and right away after that, we also got a penalty. So we were playing 6-on-4 with a face-off in my zone, and ultimately, after a couple of rebounds, a goal was scored. So that tied it up 2-2. There was less than 30 seconds, I know, left in the game. I know it was still going to be a tie, still a point for us, but it was a pretty rough feeling. But then the craziest thing happened is we won a face-off, took control of the puck, and ended up with a breakaway. And our guy scored a goal with 3 seconds left in the game, and we went back up 3-2. It was just a really crazy last couple minutes of that game, and the other goalie played even more phenomenally than I did. He faced a lot of shots. So coming up now is the game footage. I'll start with my game first, and then it's obviously just going to end at some point, and I'll introduce the second game. If you don't mind and you like seeing these videos, please hit that subscribe button and the bell notification button. That way, when I upload new videos, you'll get an alert when you open YouTube, and you'll see that a new video has been uploaded. Feel free to leave comments, talk about the gear, any of that stuff. If you liked it, please hit the thumbs up button. And thank you again for watching.
Game 1 of 2. This is my league game. And then I sub after this. End of the first, 1-0 winning. Got that with the shaft of the stick off of the deflection. End of the first, losing 2-0. That second one was a crappy soft goal on my end. End of the second, still 2-0. Little communication issues with penalty calls, so last 20 seconds or so burned off the clock. Piece of that with my blocker. Four to nothing loss. A couple terrible goals.